So I'm going to pass over to Dr. Nenad now, and he's going to talk to you about the power of nutrition.
Thanks, Kelly. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. What I'll be talking to you guys today about is about nutrition, and I'll be talking about one of the regions in particular that I recently came back from a holidays, and that is the Mediterranean region. But before we actually, so you'll see a lot of photographs of my family and of the foods and of areas that we have visited. I have tried to put them through the presentation because I really thoroughly love that region. I haven't been back in the past 30 years. So when I went back, I was very snappy, taking a lot of photographs. But before we actually start with that, what I really want to ask you guys is, why do we actually eat? What are the reasons behind eating the food as what we are eating? So we're eating it for a variety of different things. We're eating because we are hungry. That's the first thing. That is general existence. We eat because of the nourishment. We eat the food because of the cultural purposes. Christmas, New Year's Eve, Easter, things like that. We also eat the food because it provides us with a feel-good feelings. So we eat in a society, from the community perspective, a number of different studies have shown that when you're eating a food together with someone, you're actually enjoying the food more. And especially if you're on your own, and it is really hard to actually consume the adequate food products and to consume the good, nutritious foods. In here on this photo, you actually have got the whole lot of my family, my wife and my gorgeous two kids. We're sitting in a city called Broulee, and we are eating scampi, which is, for that particular region, very, very important. And later on in the presentation, I will tell you the reasons why. So, the good nutrition plays an exceptional importance in well-being of all the people. I cannot emphasize that more. I'm not a dietitian, I'm a food scientist, I'm a chef, I'm a molecular nutritionist. I work at very, very small fragments in a body and different nutrients and how do they affect the health and well-being. And really, I cannot emphasize more how important it is to actually have a good and adequate nutrition, and plenty of it too. Most of the health-associated problems with older people are related to a very poor dietary factors, and some of those can be actually associated as a distance from the shops, but also in eating environment. How do you eat, and how do you perceive the whole aspect of eating? So some of the physiological changes that happen when you get older is physical and psychological changes, and they also play the impact onto the nutrients and also onto nutrients and uptake of those particular nutrients. So not only that, there are the changes in muscle density and strength and physiological aspect, as Kelly has described, and as Diane will be talking later on. There's also changes in the physiological, how much of nutrients are you actually going to take and absorb. And that can pose some sort of severe problems if not managed adequately and not managed on time. One of the things that actually also happens is a decrease in appetite. And a decrease in appetite can not only reduce the amount of food that you're eating, but it can also increase the amount of different foods that you probably shouldn't be eating, such as, highly processed foods, but also the foods that don't bring a lot of nutritional value back into the system that you would be requiring. So now let's talk about eating patterns. And in here you've got a couple of images as well. One of them is octopus salad, that is one down the bottom, and one on top is the regional market that has been set up every single day and packed up every day at 11 o'clock. So you can only go to the local markets, and this is a city of about 550,000 people living in there. There is no shops around, so there is no Broulee or IGA or anything along those lines. You buy all the fresh fruits and vegetables from the local market. 7 o'clock gets set up, 10:30 gets all packed up and taken away. If you haven't bought your fruit and veg by 10:30 or 11 o'clock, you missed out on the day. The beauty about it is that everything is locally grown. So everything that you will see on that photo has actually been taken in from 75-kilometer radius. And the people are going there and they're setting it up. And the whole principle of that Mediterranean diet, I'm not going to just talk about the foods, it's the whole way of living. Because a diet, when you take it back, it actually doesn't mean only a food, it means a lifestyle, it means the way that you are living overall. So the Mediterranean diet surrounding the Mediterranean region, quite a high intake of olive oil, quite a high intake of fish, and relatively moderate intake of a dairy product. Another thing is that there is a low intake of processed meats, but also very low intake of sweets. So what does the science say? Well, the science says that all this diet is actually beneficial for you. It assists in a reduction of very different aspects like cancer, rheumatoid arthritis, etc. And we have published a number of different articles that will actually say that there is a reduction in rheumatoid arthritis, that there is a reduction in some of the cardiovascular disease prevention, but also in some of the epidemiological studies are showing a high protein diet is really important. And a number of beneficial effects of this type of a diet and the lifestyle just keeps going. So where to from here? Quite a lot of fruit and vegetables. Increase that as much as you possibly can. Also increase the healthy protein foods, and that means lean meats, fish, seafood, poultry, things like that. Reduce fat dairy, and I know that Diane is going to hit me in the head over it because she does not like reduced fat dairy, but that is a guideline, and I know it doesn't taste that great, but it's still the amount of reduction of some of the sweetened yogurts and the things like that. To try to avoid them, go for natural yogurts that are unsweetened. You can always add a fruit to it, so you will reduce the amounts of sugar. And also choose the healthy food choices and herbs instead of a salt. There's a number of different herbs that we can use that can actually reduce the salt intake, and it's all that about a flavor. And another thing is drink every day. And I put the two things here to drink every day. First one is water. Have enormous amounts of water. And I'm saying enormous amounts of water. Have at least 1 liter of water a day. And the second thing is have wine. And I'm saying a wine, 1 glass of red wine, but a decent, nice red wine, and have that with a meal. Because there's a number of different chemicals and oxidants antioxidants in a wine that will assist with the reduction of a cardiovascular disease and all other problems associated with it. That's why there is a little asterisk in there. So, from now on, I'm just going to pass it over to our invisible friend that was going to be elucidated with Diane, and she'll be talking about maintaining an active mind.